Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is your boy James, a.k.a. Hollywood J. Black, live in the building once again. Back with another Synful Blaq Reacts. I got my main mans. Big MFing, Sinners in the building. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I can't wait to go to the fucking eye doctor on Saturday. I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Are you blind? Is that what it was? You can't wait to go to the
I think I'm going blind.
Oh, well, you know, we're in our 40s, sir. It's nothing but downhill from here.
Anyway.
It's time to get that LASIK. Your job isn't paying for LASIK? I'm shocked.
Speaking of on our way on the backside of things, something else that is dying is Slaughterhouse.
It's not dying. It was already dead, according to Joell Ortiz and Kxng Crooked last week.
And now King Crooked and Joell Ortiz are just dragging the bodies out. They're like, all right. See you later, Joe.
Bye, fool.
He's like, the King Crooked threw him out the door. Was like, pump it up.
Whee!
But we back today with another King Crooked and Joell Ortiz. This one's called Backstage.
Yes.
After that last one shocked us when we did these songs.
Yes. So, this particular thing, is it an EP or is it a whole LP?
I don't know. Let me get the exact title of it. Hold on.
Well, he's working on that, but basically, it seems like Joell Ortiz and Kxng Crooked have taken it upon themselves to tell their side of the story regarding the end of Slaughterhouse, which to me is a bittersweet thing because I think my man said it best. This goes out from one of the best groups ever that ended up one of the best groups never. I don't think there was a single group of four guys that was as talented as Slaughterhouse. Both amazing lyricists. And as much as I dislike what Joe Budden is and represents, I can admit that he's a decent lyricist.
Okay, so the album is called Joell Ortiz and Kxng Crooked announced the rise and fall of Slaughterhouse.
Rise and fall of Slaughterhouse. So, it's a whole album, and this is probably the last that you might see them as collaborate as an album. I would have taken it one step further. No, I would have taken it one step further. I would have, if I was Joell and Ortiz and Kxng Crooked, I would have called ourselves Slaughterhouse. That would have pissed off a few people. You know why, though?
Why?
Who's out here slaughtering niggas better than Joell Ortiz and Kxng Crooked on the microphone?
When it comes to these motherfuckers right now, these two. Yeah.
I would have thought that based off of everything that happened. I mean, shout out to Royce the 5'9". And Royce the 5'9" has a Grammy nominated. Is it an album? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was an album. Yes.
You know what's crazy about that? And maybe because we've been out of the loop as hip hop fans, but I did not know that he had came out with an album.
So I don't know when this message is from the Royce the 5'9", but on Instagram he posted, "You have 25% ownership equity in a building. Let's say an apartment building you built. This building with your three partners, brick by brick, is worth millions. Suddenly the value drops because it needs renovation, etc. You and your partners have been talking about when and how this work is going to get done. You all just need to agree on plan of attack. Meanwhile, you and just one other partner receive an offer to build another building together, but with just the two of you, minus your other two partners. Yes, there's a check involved, but just one catch. You have to burn down the building you already have without informing your other two partners in order to do so. Would you do it? Didn't think so. Me neither."
Well, okay. I think I remember seeing that the same day, oddly enough, that me and you decided to work on this. So I know there's not going to be a rebuttal involved from them, but I have a rebuttal involved on my own based off of all the information that I had. Because I think Joe Budden's comments were simply just to dismiss the whole thing. And hasn't even spoken on it on the podcast yet.
Well, him, Royce, and Ortiz were doing the podcast the other day. I just didn't watch it.
Who, Joell Ortiz was on the podcast?
Yeah, I believe it was Budden, Royce, and Ortiz on their podcast.
I'm gonna see. Joe Budden podcast. Joell Ortiz.
5 days ago.
5 years ago? Yeah, 5.
5 days. 5 days. DAYS.
Okay. Joe Budden, Royce the 5'9", Joe Budden, and Joell Ortiz talk Slaughterhouse. So yeah. So remember, when we did our reaction, they had not had a discussion about all the shit up until.
Yeah. So this happened after our reaction.
Yes. So let's see.
So we'll get into all that drama later.
So Joe Budden tells Joell Ortiz to suck my dick during his Slaughterhouse Instagram Live. Too bad I can't beep that out because, you know.
Well, we're more than 30 seconds into the video, so it's okay.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good. So that tells you exactly how things are. I don't think there's any coming back from telling somebody to SMD. I think that's probably just about as good of a. When a man tells another man to SMD, one is kind of sus, but two is that there's no coming back from that. Okay. The reality is this. See, everybody has a side. There's their side, and then there's somebody else's side, and then there's the reality. Here's the thing. How the problem with having 4 men, as good as they are lyrically on the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
When you think you're the shit, what do you have, sir? An ego, right?
Yeah.
So when you have 4 guys that have been told that they're the best the entire time, you get this ego about yourself. See, Joe Budden came from major label one-hit wonder success.
He's on Def Jam.
Yeah, he came from a major label. We talked about this, and we talked about this in the thing. And so if you've already heard it, you can probably fast forward about 30 seconds. Okay, Joell Ortiz, very much independent. Crooked Eye came from old school major label. What even on major? He didn't release anything on Death Row. I don't think.
Yeah, no, he fucked with Death Row a lot, but he didn't release anything.
Yeah, fuck with Stupid and Heavy. Okay, but past that. He stayed independent, fucked the industry, all that bullshit. I mean, if you ever had to deal with Kxng Knight, you probably feel the exact same way. But that's another story for another day. Okay. But being told constantly that you're the best, being told constantly that you're the shit, being told constantly that I can't wait for you one day, you know, to come out with an album, blah, 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 blah. And so these 4 MCs get on something, collaborate. They came out with the EP first, if I remember correctly, right? It was like, remember, we had the EP. And then they came out with the full-fledged album.
Because they had Hammer Dance and all that shit on there.
Uh-huh. So, it's being the only dive into what they are as a group. And so, we get to a point where, you know, after you come out with one great project, the second project is supposed to come out. This is apparently where everything went wrong. Joe Budden's quote-unquote retirement. The group's beef with Shady Records and Eminem and shit like that.
Which both Crooked and Joell said it ain't their fault.
No, it ain't their fault. They didn't create what he said. Like he said, I ain't create the group.
They didn't create Slaughterhouse.
No, they created this together. Now, we can talk about the legal aspect and the ramifications and shit like that. But again, let's talk about the fact that Joe Budden has been talking about shit about Eminem for years.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Budden has had a disdain for Eminem for years. So I can't believe anybody that has a personal disdain for anybody when it comes to anything that comes out their mouth about the shit on the label. So we'll exit Joe Budden's opinion about the shit. Automatically disqualified.
Well, with Budden showing how childish she is with the whole telling Joell Ortiz to suck his dick during the fucking podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that exactly.
Budden been kicking it with Lloyd Jamar way too much.
Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know about Joe Budden. Anybody that will to go on the internet, act a goddamn fool, and be like SMD on my podcast on the Instagram live, throw that nigga to the side. He ain't no better than a Bootsy live. Okay.
All right, let's get up into the song. We've already been talking for like 10 minutes.
Hold on, wait, no, we have not. It's been. Oh yeah. Oh shit, it has been 10 minutes. All right. I'll finish the rest of it after we watch this video, okay? Because there's another part to this I have to go over. But without further ado, this is King Crooked, Joell Ortiz, Backstage, the second single off their album, right here on Synful Blaq Reacts. Let's go.
Y'all know what it is. Let's go. Slaughterhouse on 3. Come on, man. 1, 2, 3. 4 of us backstage, we say a prayer. Come out one by one and sound off. I see it like I'm near. A hand in the air, felt energy everywhere. Point that mic in the crowd, they go line for line anywhere in the song. Organically built an empire. Once that spark matched the talent on paper, I knew we'd catch fire. From red spiders to pulling up in that red spider. The sold out shows without Joe, we tore that Best Buy up. Before Royce and Crook was sober, man, this shit was ill. We sip to kill, give groupie bitches the dick and chill. Joe ain't drink, but he partied on them prescription pills. The one video depicted how we was living for real. Backstage, man, we was like brothers. Nobody would fall, cause everyone would be each other's crutches. But here's a little something you ain't know. We split the dough, and after the tour was over, so was the show. No hanging out, no phone calls, just holiday texts and emails from management on what's probably up next. But no amount of money is bigger than ego. Niggas doing deals on the side like Nicki and Casino. Joe, you thought you was the head Gambino. Made decisions with no regard for the next man. We know that Rollie lit up nice. It had the large down, but you was on your ish for that ice, just like you are now. Royce, we was pretty tight, then you got around Mike and let him sell you Joell lies at a discount price. But you know quick, nigga. The block enforcer, only thing you had up on me was that rocket launcher. Got guns too, we had some fun too. Mic check 1, 2, so this is what it's come to. That last phone call revealed it was the last days. Man, I wish real life was like Backstage. Green room bottles full as fuck, bad bitches around that.
I thought there was going to be a chorus. Hold on, let me go back. All right. So, I find it hilarious that everything, the thing, and the shit I just talked about, quote unquote, for 10 minutes, Joell Ortiz broke down in 2 minutes on a verse.
he said we killed the tour without Joe because Joe Budden was off doing perks somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, never trust a nigga that got a personal beef, with it, like a personal beef with anybody. Not a business beef, but a personal beef. And so when it became with the Joe Budden and the Eminem shit, because of that shit, you can toss that nigga to the side. But this reinforces it because this nigga made Joe Budden making deals on the side, do whatever the fuck that he was doing. When at that moment, the project should have been, we on some slaughterhouse shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's make ourselves better. But apparently, the group being together, they apparently the group being together, it wasn't a thing to be together after the tours were done.
When the shows are over, guess what? All they did was exchange holiday texts.
Yep, and that's why I feel like the collaboration with collaborations like Kxng and Chris and shit like that, because they all grew up together. They're family. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And so with this particular situation, this goes. He took a deep dive in a matter of 24 or 30 bars.
For the second time in a row.
Fucking shit. And we know Crooked's coming up.
Now you're going to have Crooked up on this bitch?
Yeah. Fuck. All right, let's go.
Wish real life was like Backstage. Green room bottles full as fuck. Bad bitches around that nobody else could touch. Bags full of money. Choppers on the bus. The 4-headed monster. Who want a problem with us? But see, the problem was us, and a whole lot of stuff we probably should have discussed. But we here now, no going back, hey. At least shit was real when we was backstage.
Dear God, thank you for letting me wake up. Feel like I'm in the land of Canaan. Feel like we are the sons of Jacob. 4 brothers who destined to break up, but where we meet up in Egypt to make up. The snake up the tree of life, who offered the apple to Eve. See, I bit the forbidden fruit, then I hit the chapel to grieve, cause I knew the truth. In Babylon, shackled by thieves in the lion's den, I triumphed when Daniel believed. I was a slave to my loyalty. Measure the pressures like trying to measure the desert, feeling lesser and lesser. Joseph never treasured my efforts. He couldn't spot a goat like shepherds and leopards, but I'm a king like Nebuchadnezzar. Yes, bag of gold for us, I took to Zion, but the 3-man story didn't fit in the book of Ryan. I would be lying if I didn't say that rock hit me like the one that shook Goliath the giant. I dropped quickly, I was trying to organize the Last Supper. If Joseph is married to retirement, why we making the fans suffer? Y'all making our path rougher. In the belly of the whale like Jonah, we ate sushi, and that's such a rap hustler for ya. I'm the Samson that y'all made. Delilah gave me a ball fade. Cut off my crown, now I'm tied to 2 pillars. Enemies all around till God sent me the strength to bring the house of slaughter down. I died and came back as John the Elder. Wrote a book about our bad ways, a revelation about our last days. Now it ain't nothing left to tell you, this the last page. The story's over, no more backstage. I guess I thought shit was sweet, cause sugar and salt look the same, you know what I mean? It wasn't real, and God gave me the signs. That's why this verse is biblical.
Green room bottles full as fuck. Bad bitches around that nobody else could touch. Bags full of money, choppers on the bus. The 4-headed monster, who want a problem with us? But see, the problem was us, and a whole lot of stuff we probably should have discussed. But we here now, no going back, hey. At least shit was real when we was backstage.
At least shit was real when they was backstage. So, I don't know if you've been paying attention. You see there's a common denominator of all their hatred.
So there's an old saying that encompasses the rise and fall of Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
You know what that old saying is?
What is that, sir?
One bad apple spoils a bunch.
Yes.
That one bad apple all seems to be you, Joe Budden.
Yeah.
You, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. No wonder he holds so much animosity. You know, he holds so much animosity because I feel that he knows that he was this catalyst of this bullshit. He was. We had 2 verses now. Okay. So let's get it real.
No, let's be real. We had 4 verses here. Where
4 verses. And nobody's
voice.
And
nobody's voice.
Yeah, nobody 4 verses and nobody said a bad thing about Royce the 5'9". Not a single solitary bad thing about Royce the 5'9". Although again, I will say, like I said last time, that anybody, if Royce the 5'9" is supposed to be one of Eminem's good friends, why the fuck would you be still cool with Joe Budden saying all that shit about Eminem? But I'll leave that alone. That's my only qualm that I have with Royce the 5'9". Because if there was gonna be no Slaughterhouse shit, and Royce the 5'9" obviously was a success on his own, okay, then really at some point you should be like, you know what? Fuck you. That's what should have happened with Joe Budden.
I think Royce's album that he got the Grammy nod for was his album right after Bad Meets Evil.
Yeah. But see, I think though, but even at that, but let's start there for a second. I even think though, even with that Royce the 5'9"'s success, not necessarily based off of Eminem, but on his own merit still. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay. Nobody. While Eminem put him in a position where he could win, it wasn't because of Eminem why Royce the 5'9" was a success. Okay.
M has always said Royce is his equal.
Yeah. Joell Ortiz has always been an independent beast. The person that if we're gonna base on how hard they had to come from where they were at to now, we'd have to talk about Crooked Eye.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Joe Budden is Mr. Commercial Success, right? I had the major label deal. I had the major song, and I even was on the Def Jam. Some of the Def Jam soundtracks and shit like that.
Also Def Jam Vendetta, the video game.
Yeah. Yep. Now go ahead. I'm
just saying he was in the video games. He was everywhere.
Yeah. And he himself is he's Mr. Bright Lights Big City. I call myself Hollywood, right? But if there's anybody that would be calling themselves Hollywood here, it's Hollywood Joe Budden. You know what I'm saying? Joe Budden is the Hulk Hogan of this whole fucking bullshit. And I'm not saying that in a good way. I'm talking about.
Let me tell you something, brother.
I'm talking about the backstage bullshit. I'm talking about the politics. I'm talking about saying your prayers and eating your vitamins means taking your perks and taking your steroids. You know what I'm saying? And fucking going on the goddamn podcast spewing out a bunch of hate and bullshit. That's what Joe Budden is. If everybody's saying the same thing, at some point it has to be true.
Yeah.
If we've had multiple verses where nobody said a bad thing about Royce the 5'9" and everything bad about Joe Budden, if we had Joe Budden purposely starting beef with other motherfuckers for no reason, we've heard stories about Joe Budden saying fuck his own people that started the podcast with him. He fucked over the people that helped him build the podcast that he's at now. He fucked them over. They helped him to get away. At some point, we have to acknowledge the fact that Joe Budden is a toxic piece of shit. We do.
But wasn't that why he got dropped from Def Jam?
He got dropped from Def Jam because outside of 2 songs, he was a talentless hack. He's only good at freestyle battles and battle raps and shit. And guess what? There's only one nigga that made an entire career off of battle raps and shit, and his name is Loaded Lux. But Loaded Lux is no fucking millionaire. He's one of the greatest battle rap MCs of all time. No fucking doubt. But he's not no fucking millionaire.
But it's like what's that man's name? Blind Fury.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was always there battling.
Yeah.
But Cat ain't rich.
Yeah. But being good at battle rapping doesn't make you a great rapper. How many great battle rappers have great rap careers outside of Eminem?
Royce and Proof.
But they didn't really battle rap.
Proof did.
Proof hosted battle raps and shit like that. Like, because keep in mind, 8 Mile is very much loosely built off of the movie 8 Mile is very loosely built off the relationship with M and Proof and eventually D12. Okay, but loosely, I use the term loosely, but that's essentially what it is. M and Proof. Mekhi Phifer was essentially Proof in the situation. Okay, but the common denominator in every single situation. Nobody will sit here and tell you Joe Budden is the best dude and the best friend and the best guy and the best buddy and the best pal. Nobody will tell you that. Okay? Not a single fucking soul. And this is proof.
Yeah.
I have no problem. Like I said, this nigga could come around and diss me and say whatever the fuck he wants about me. I don't give a shit. Fuck Joe Budden. And I tell him, he wants to tell people the S&D on the fucking internet. I'll tell him FJB, nigga. Fuck Joe Budden. For real.
Childish. He's just childish.
He's a child. He is a 40-some-year-old fucking child with a platform. That's it. With a platform to spew hate and bullshit. You know? That's it. That's it. That's fucking it. The only difference between me and Joe Budden is that I'm more mature and he makes more money than me. That's it. That's fucking it. End of fucking story.
So anyway, what I need y'all to do right now is
say fuck Joe Budden.
Comment, and subscribe. See, and I was proud of Joe Budden because he's from the Jersey. You know what I mean?
No, that pride cometh before the fall, sir.
It did. Like, comment, and subscribe, ring that bell so you know more Synful Blaq React drops. And apparently people like when Hollywood get angry, so you're welcome.
Yes. Fuck Joe Budden. So until next time, that's my man Big Sin. I'm your boy Hollywood J Black. It's FJB just like it's FTR. And this is Synful Blaq Reacts. And we are out this thing. Deuces.